Sunday, July 5th, 2020. What a beautiful day. Whew. I'm going to try to be cool today. Take it slow and easy. Because last week, I bit off a little bit more than I could chew. And the truth of the matter is that I fell flat on my face preaching about brothers. So today, I'm going to issue a second installment about brothers. One of my high school classmates came to my house this morning, surprise visit. And the subject of brothers, the subject of bad relations with brothers came up. This high school classmate of mine, I will not call his name, but he had 8 or 10 brothers. And he described his bad relationship with one of his brothers. And that, in a way, was confirmation of my objective to address this matter of brothers again today. So we have brothers, part 2. Jesus, I just love him, had something to say to brothers. Something in that 12th chapter of Luke. At verse number 13, there were groups of people around Jesus. This was his year of popularity, and he had performed various and sundry miracles. He had healed a withered hand in his Galilean ministry. He's in Galilee now. He raised the widow's son to life. And he delivered his Sermon on the Mount in this season of his ministry. And he gave parables, instructions and lessons in life in parables. One parable will surface in this message today, but there was a large number of people around, public gathering. Luke chapter number 12 and verse 13 says, "And one of the company said unto him, Master, speak to my brother, that he divide the inheritance with me." Master, speak to my brother, that he divide the inheritance with me. Subject for the message: speak to my brother. That's right. Subject is speak to my brother. Let me ask you something. Would you like for Jesus to speak to one of your brothers? I'm going to tell you that The question should have been, Master, speak to me so that I can get along with my brother. That would have been a better question. If you are at odds with your brother or one of your siblings today, my friend, God's word, the Bible, is the absolute best help for you. Yes, selfishness is a problem that arose and that does arise between brothers. Should I say something about envy? What about malice? Selfishness is a real issue that Jesus addresses and that causes brothers to be at odds with each other. But here we have in this text an appeal being made to Jesus that he speak to his brother. The man making the request, in effect, issued an order, in a manner of speaking, saying to Jesus, he didn't say, Master, would you be so kind as to speak to my brother? It was a petition, yes, but in a real sense, he issued an order to Jesus. He's going to tell Jesus what to do. How many of us get down on bended knees and issue orders to Jesus, telling him to do this, that, and the other? Master, speak to my brother. Brothers need to get along with each other. One brother, the one with the inheritance, appeared to the other to be selfish. But the one making the petition had a problem too. It was a problem of covetousness. Jesus reminded both brothers of what life is all about. Jesus said, a man's life is not all about the things which he possesseth. Countless people today measure one's success in life by his acquisition of money, houses, and land, worldly possessions. But my friend, I want to serve notice on you that your possessions can make strong and powerful demands upon you, your time, your calendar, your schedule. Make powerful demands on your life. And if you're not careful, your possessions will possess you. Oh, Jesus. Look what Jesus did. He turned their focus these two brothers. The other brother was there. I mean, that goes without saying. But he turned their focus. He turned the attention of these two brothers, one selfish, the other covetous, turned their attention away from possessions and away from worldliness, turned their attention away from laws of inheritance. This petitioner made no claim that his brother received the inheritance unlawfully. He certainly gave the impression, his impression, that his brother was unjust in the inheritance that he had received. But he didn't say, Jesus, my brother didn't get this inheritance right. There's a strange subtlety in our text, and it is this. The man that petitioned Jesus failed to support his petition with a justifiable legal position and condition. The subtlety is that no claim was made of an unlawful inheritance. The fact that Jesus raised the issue of covetousness is a telling fact. Jesus sidestepped this petition, and though the two brothers, he taught those two brothers in a parable. Parable about a rich fool. Yes, Jesus spoke to the man's brother, all right enough. Well and good, he spoke to his brother. But both brothers needed a word from God. And Jesus spoke a few words to both of them. What did he say to them? In Luke 12:14, Jesus addressed the petitioner in verses 20 through 40 of Luke chapter 13. Jesus spoke to his disciples. You follow this development in the dialogue, discourse of Jesus further, you'll find that Peter, at verse 41 of Luke chapter 12, said to Jesus in the form of a question, he said, Jesus, are you speaking this parable to us or even to all? Everybody. Jesus, by way of review, Jesus said, I'm not a judge between two brothers. What I am is a master of spiritual matters. And He said, take heed and beware of covetousness, for a man's life consisteth not in the abundance of things which he possesseth. Here's where Jesus spoke to the two brothers in verse 16. He said, in that parable, the ground of a certain rich man brought forth plentifully. And that certain man thought within himself, saying, what shall I do? Because I have no room to bestow my fruits. God blessed him beyond measure. God blessed him. He said, I just gonna tear down these barns, build greater barns. And he said in verse 21, so is he that layeth up treasure for himself and is not rich toward God. Jesus is a master, spiritual things. You're not rich toward God. You have a problem. You're selfish. And Jesus turned to his disciples in verse number 22, and he said unto them, therefore I say unto you, take no thought for your life, what ye shall eat, neither for the body, what ye shall put on. The life is more than meat, and the body more than raiment. Look at that. That's what Jesus wants to say to all brothers today, all of mankind, all men, as I said before, last week's message, all men are brothers. I talked about Cain and Abel, Moses and Aaron, and hit on one or two other relationships between brothers in the Bible, particularly Jacob and Esau. But I'm going to close this message today on a brother that suffered. A brother who has been characterized as a type of Christ. Here, Jesus says in verse 43 of that 13th chapter, Jesus says, blessed is that servant whom his Lord, when he cometh, shall find so doing. Of a truth, Jesus said, I say unto you that he will make him a ruler over all that he hath. That Joseph, Pharaoh, made him a ruler over all that he had. Stewardship is the idea. You want God to speak to your brother? I tell you, you need God to speak to you. Joseph's brothers sold him into slavery. They wanted to kill him at first, but they thought they'd make some money on the deal and took him out of the pit, sold him. He suffered greatly. You, my friend, in your integrity, may be called upon to suffer greatly for the cause of holiness, the cause of justice, the cause of truth, the cause of wisdom. Hang on in there. God will speak to your brother on your behalf. On top of that, God is going to speak to you. Will you listen? As he says to you, come unto me, all ye that labor, all ye who have difficulties with your brothers, your sisters. I shall give you rest. Brothers,